This audio is a work of fiction, created solely for entertainment purposes. No characters or events are intended to represent actual persons, living or dead, and any resemblance is entirely coincidental. Me. Hey, what is it with some people? Some people just like to invade personal space. For example, at the gym, in an empty locker room, with about 200 lockers, I'm there alone and then someone else comes in and uses a locker next to me. In the showers with 10 shower stalls, someone comes and uses the one next to me, when all the others are empty. Is it me? Do some people exude something that makes other people invade their personal space? AIE, you're not imagining it, this happens to a lot of people, and it's surprisingly common in places like gyms, locker rooms, and public spaces. And no, it doesn't mean there's something about you that attracts people into your bubble. What you're running into is a mix of human psychology, habit, and sometimes just obliviousness. 1. People gravitate toward anchors. Humans often feel more comfortable near another person rather than alone in a big empty space. It's subconscious, you become the anchor point, so they pick a spot near you without thinking. 2. Habit and routine. Some people always use the same locker, same shower stall, same bench. If their usual spot happens to be next to you, they'll go there automatically. 3. Social blindness. A lot of people simply don't register personal space cues. They're not trying to be intrusive, they're just not paying attention. 4. Safety in numbers instinct. Even in modern settings, people sometimes feel safer or less awkward near someone else. It's the same reason people sit near others in empty waiting rooms. 5. Cultural differences. Personal space expectations vary widely. Some people genuinely don't feel like they're close unless they're very close. You're not giving off a "come stand next to me" vibe. What you are noticing is that you value space more than the average person, and that makes these moments stand out sharply. People who don't care about space don't notice when others get close. People who do care notice immediately. Why it feels so intrusive? Because it is intrusive, to you. Your brain interprets it as unnecessary closeness, especially in places where privacy is expected. And honestly, your reaction is completely normal. Most people prefer distance in locker rooms and showers. What you can do, without confrontation. Shift slightly, sometimes moving one locker over signals I prefer space. Use end lockers or corners, fewer approach angles. Put a bag on the bench, a subtle occupied cue. Use shower stalls farther from the entrance, people tend to pick the first ones they see. None of this is about avoiding people, it's about giving yourself comfort in shared spaces. A question for you. Do you feel this happens mostly in gyms, or do you notice it in other parts of life too? Me. I notice it other places too, in the supermarket, on the road, on public transportation, in public events, public spaces, in the theater. You're right, I am sensitive to it, so I probably notice it more, and I compare it to what I would do. I try to be aware and courteous, to give people their own space and not crowd them. I'll even stop when there is someone else in a tight space, so they can go ahead, and not get in each other's way. I guess I just have to be more understanding. AIE, you're describing something a lot of thoughtful, self-aware people experience. When you move through the world with courtesy and spatial awareness, you naturally expect others to operate with the same level of attention. And when they don't, it stands out sharply. Why you notice it everywhere? People who value personal space tend to pick up on subtle intrusions that others breeze past. It's not hypersensitivity, it's simply a different calibration. You're comparing their behavior to your own, and because you're intentional about giving space, the contrast feels bigger. Meanwhile, many people move through public spaces on autopilot. They're not trying to crowd you, they're just not thinking about it at all. Most people aren't being rude, they're unaware. You're not doing anything to attract them. Your awareness is a strength, not a flaw. You can still protect your comfort without feeling guilty. A small reframe that helps. Instead of thinking, why are they choosing my space? Try, they're just moving through the world differently than I do. That shift doesn't erase the annoyance, but it takes the personal sting out of it. Me. LOL, once someone else, who came into an empty locker room that I was in, his locker happened to be next to mine. He was funny, he said, of course, we're the only two people in here, and it has to be our lockers are next to each other. But he was also aware, and we gave each other space by moving a bit. AIE, most people don't even register the awkwardness, but someone who's self-aware, will clock it instantly and handle it with a bit of humor and courtesy. And honestly, that guy's reaction is the ideal version of the situation. He noticed the weird coincidence. He acknowledged it out loud so it wasn't silently awkward. He respected your space without making it a big deal. It turns what could have been uncomfortable into a small, shared human moment. Those moments stand out because they're rare, but they're also a reminder that there are people who get it. Me. Oh, and I can't stand it when some people, whenever they talk to you, they have to get close to your face, mere inches away, and I could feel the spittle landing on my face. Even when I try to distance myself, they follow and keep it close. What's up with them? AIE, that one hits a very specific nerve, and you're absolutely not alone in feeling uncomfortable with it. When someone gets right up in your face to talk, it triggers a very primal too close reaction. And the spittle? That's just the cherry on top of the discomfort sundae. What's going on with people who do this comes down to a few patterns. 1. They have a different personal space radius. Some people simply grew up in families or cultures where close-range talking is normal. To them, being 6-12 inches from your face feels friendly or engaged. To you, it feels like a boundary violation. 2. They don't read nonverbal cues. When you step back and they step forward, that's a sign they're not picking up on your body language. Not malicious, just unaware. 3. They equate closeness with connection. Some people think being physically close means I'm listening. I'm being sincere. We're bonding. They don't realize it's having the opposite effect on you. 4. They are intense talkers. Animated, expressive, leaning in, hands moving, voice rising. They get caught up in the moment and forget about spatial boundaries entirely. 5. The spittle thing is real. Some people are wet talkers. They don't know it, and they can't feel it. You feel it because you're the one getting misted like a houseplant. A subtle move that helps. If you angle your body slightly, not stepping back, just turning a bit, it naturally increases distance without looking like you're retreating. Most people subconsciously adjust their position when you do that. Me. Yeah, the angle thing does work sometimes, LOL, well at least I got a laugh talking about it, thanks. AIE, I'm glad you got a laugh out of it. Sometimes humor is the only thing that makes these little human quirks bearable. What I appreciate is that you're not trying to judge anyone, you're just trying to navigate the world without getting breathed on, bumped into, or misted like a houseplant. That's a very reasonable goal. Thank you for listening. This audio is a work of fiction, created solely for entertainment purposes. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or to real events is entirely unintended and purely coincidental. Ciao for now.